Russia claims American-supplied long-range missiles have been used in an attack on Russian territory by Ukraine. Vladimir Putin chose the 1,000th day of the war to step up talk of using nuclear weapons, hinting at using such weapons in retaliation to attacks on its territory. Just days after Ukraine was granted permission to use US long-range missiles inside Russia, Moscow confirmed 5 of the missiles were shot down near the Bryansk region. Hundreds of people gathered in Kyiv to remember the lives lost in the war. Volodymyr Zelensky has reacted to Russia's changed doctrine on nuclear attacks.
Today, G20 countries, they're sitting today in Brazil. Did they say something? Nothing. Nothing strong. This is the answer. So what strategy can be if even G20 countries don't have any strong strategy?
Ivor Bennett has the latest on this development.
The reports first came from 2 Ukrainian media outlets, actually, that in the early hours of this morning, Kyiv carried out its first strike on Russian territory, on Russian soil, with US-supplied missiles. The attack reportedly came in the Russian town of Karachev in the Bryansk region, which borders Ukraine. It's 70 miles, the town is, from the Ukrainian border. There's been no official confirmation from Kyiv yet, but we have heard from Moscow and Russia's Ministry of Defense that said these reports are true. They've issued a statement confirming that a military facility was struck in the Bryansk region with 6 ballistic missiles, and according to their data, they say American-made ATACMS, to use the missiles acronym, were used. It goes on to say it shot down 5 of these missiles and damaged one of them. Debris fell on the facility, causing a fire that it says was quickly extinguished, adding that no casualties or damage was caused. We've also just heard from Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who's been speaking at the G20 summit in Rio, where he has echoed the lines we've heard from the Kremlin in the last 24 hours, saying that this is a signal the West wants escalation and that Russia will react accordingly. Have a listen.
The president mentioned this several times. If long-range missiles are going to be applied from Ukraine into Russian territory, it will also mean that they are operated by American experts, military experts. And we will be taking this as a qualitatively new phase of the Western war against Russia, and we'll react accordingly.
So the big question now is, how will Russia respond? Well, the Kremlin gave a very clear signal of the means at its disposal earlier today when Vladimir Putin approved changes to Russia's nuclear doctrine, which sets out when and how Russia can use a nuclear strike, and the changes essentially lower the threshold for Russia to use nuclear weapons. From now on, they can respond with nuclear weapons if Russia is attacked by any state using conventional weapons, including drones, including aircraft, including missiles. So is Russia actually going to respond now with nukes? Will they reach for the red button? Clearly, Washington thinks that they will not. They are trying to call Moscow's bluff here, having mulled this decision for months. But what is clear, I think, is that the war has clearly entered a very critical new phase with this development.